Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Eco Insider TV. These days, sustainability is more than just a buzzword, it's a way of life for people around the world. Everything that we need for our survival and well being depends either directly or indirectly on the natural environment. As a business owner, an entrepreneur in the event space, and you in whatever business you're in, we all have a need and an opportunity to provide more sustainable products and services. We get to do our part as well. So, this series is about providing eco focused solutions in the event planning space. And the tips you get here, you can, I guess, use it in whatever area of your life that it applies because it's all about being strategic with the resources we have and taking care of the environment. And every business, every part of life can benefit from that. My name is Melody Dixon, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pro Event Planners, curators of eco focused events. I support clients who are steeped in all things sustainability. It's in their business, it's in their life, it's in their homes, and it also gets to be in their events. And that's why they connect with me because I'm aligned with that. I also support clients who have no idea about sustainability. They probably see things online and they're curious and they're wondering how they could apply that, what they've seen, it aligns with their mind. Maybe it's a growth thing for them and they just want to get more information, learn more, and see how they can apply to their events. And that's when they connect with me. Now, what is sustainability? It is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Um, I like to say that we're from the Most High God, and that energy is expansive and creative and creates worlds and universes and all the things, but also very detailed to create so many. Have you ever seen an ombre sunset? Just beautiful, but it is intentional in how the colors are and the consistency. An ombre sunset isn't just a once in a lifetime thing. It's repeatable and it looks just about the same. That's intention. That's thought filled. That's not a random thing. And by virtue of coming from that energy, we too are expansive and intentional and artistic and creative. And we get to use the resources on this planet to do so. But we also get to be intentional with it so that we're not riding it till the wheels fall off. Now, what guides us in being intentional with the resources are the three pillars of sustainability. The first pillar is the environment. We get to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce the use of what we're already using because we're using too much anyway. Reuse what we have instead of buying more, and recycle. That's self-explanatory. I like to squeeze in a fourth in this category, and it's upcycle, where we take stuff we deem junk, we don't need anymore, we don't use anymore, we don't like anymore. Instead of tossing it into the trash that goes into the landfill, we give it a new life. Maybe we can donate it. Maybe we can give it to somebody who's creative and they can convert it into something else. Like the show that I've seen on HGTV, they take junk, old wagon wheels, old cupboards, old bins, and convert it into coffee tables, side tables, bedboards, artwork. And this gives the thing a whole new life cycle. It serves a whole new purpose, different from the first purpose that it was created for initially. And it serves a whole new family or company or whoever buys it. It has a whole new life cycle. And then when that breaks down and gets old, somebody can take it again and whip it into shape into something new and start it all over again. Because, I mean, we only have a finite space on Earth, and the landfill is just digging a hole in the ground and dumping the stuff we don't want in it. So we get to be mindful of that. Economics is the second pillar. If it's eco-focused and it's sustainable, it also gets to make money or save money. The third is social responsibility. This is where we love our neighbors as ourselves. We, as entrepreneurs, create a business, and so we hire people. And the act of hiring people give these people the opportunity to find a place to live. Um, Good morning, Crystal. Thanks for joining. We're talking about the three pillars of sustainability, and we're on social responsibility. So as entrepreneurs, we create a business because we're from the Most High God. So we're that energy is creative, so are we. So we start a business and we hire people. The act of hiring people gives them the opportunity to get a place to live, food to eat, take care of their family, get health care, buy what they need. And so we're taking care of each other that way. Also, there's I guess the government can, they have parks that they have for us to enjoy that takes care of our mental wellness. They have systems in place to take care of the needy. And so all this is social responsibility. We are just taking care of each other. That's it. Now, we are still unpacking what scores a venue as sustainable. And this series is about how to plan an eco-focused event. Oftentimes when people think of eco-focus, they really just keep to the basic. Yeah, no paper, so on and so forth. But it goes a little deeper than that. So yesterday we talked about the basics of finding a venue. When researching the most sustainable venues, you will likely find there is no definitive answer. Good morning, Star Michael 7791. How are you, gorgeous? So this series that we're doing started yesterday is how to plan an eco-focused event. So when we're researching the most sustainable venues, you will likely find there's no definitive answer to the criteria. It all has to do with accreditations, and there are certain organizations that will score the venue based on certain things. So we're going to go through a list of some things to look for, and based on those things, the venue will get an accreditation, whether it's LEED certified or energy efficient. And we're going to discuss what those certifications mean tomorrow. But for today, we're talking about some of the elements that are scored. So the intention with this is to help you find eco-friendly venues. So this is what these tips are. This is what's to look out for. Yesterday, we broke down energy efficiency, and that was tip number one. Find out if the venue is energy efficient, from the light to the heating to the cooling. The second thing we talked about was water supply and usage limitations. And an example that I gave was, at the airport or in certain hotels, they have in the restroom, the sink where it has like a little, almost like a glass underneath the spout that activates the water once you put your hand under it. And so if you move your hand, the water stops. If you put your hand, the water goes. Even for the soap dispenser, you put your hand underneath it, then the soap bubble or soap foam pops out. Even the toilet, once you sit down, it's, do your business. Once you get up, your shadow, I think, moves from in front of the little, almost like a little brown or black glass thing, and then the toilet flushes by itself. So all those things are sanitary because public restrooms are no joke, but they're also energy efficient and they allow you to manage water and not waste. The third thing we talked about was the supplier's eco-credentials. And there are some venues, some linen people, some cake people, some caterers that have some eco-focused classes that they've attended and certifications, or just their way of running their business. And I told you what to ask about for that. Do they source their foods locally? All that. So, and that takes me to number 4, which is what we're talking about today. Catering. The use of local produce and the way it's produced it falls under being sustainable and eco-focused. So if your venue uses a caterer or has on-site catering and they get their food from local farmers, then that makes them eco-focused. And these local farmers also, I hope, and this takes more probing and asking questions, that their food is organic. They're locally, but they're doing also good things with the food. So when you eat it, you're not going to get sick from all the pesticides and all that. They would use natural ways of getting rid of pests, natural fertilizers, maybe rainwater or gray water. And gray water is like the water that you collect from taking a shower, washing your hands. Yes, it's, you may have dirt on your body and all that, but plants, if the plants drink that water, it won't hurt you. So gray water is a good source of watering plants and also being eco-focused. Using natural pesticides is a great way. I have a garden at my house, and one of the natural ways I control pests is I'll put some lemongrass leaves in water, kind of soak it for a couple of days so that, and kind of, well, I crush it, put it in the water a couple of days, and it infuses almost like a citronella like smell and oils in the water. And you spritz the plants, and it gets rid of the little aphids. Another one I use is I have water and I add garlic, the purple onion, and I use Dr. Bronner's soap. And I mix all that together, chop it up, put it in a spritz bottle overnight. No, I put it in a mason jar like this one overnight. And then the next morning, the soapy water has like a purplish tinge, and I strain it, and then I put it in the spritz bottle. And I use it to spray the plants. It also gets rid of aphids and the worms and all the little bugs and things that harm the plant. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes money. Yes, you do use your onion and your garlic. Oh, and I also add cayenne pepper to that as well. That deters, I guess the spiciness from the pepper deters the bugs and squirrels and all the things that come at night and try to eat your fruits and veggies. And it's harmless. When you're ready to eat it, you just wash it off and you're fine. So those are two natural ways to take care of pests in your garden. And if your venue uses local farmers, then they have similar things that they do to get rid of the pests as well. Because when you use hard chemicals on the plants, you also are spritzing the soil. And the soil needs beneficial bugs and earthworms and things to do what they do. And if you kill all those, then they're not going to do their part in keeping your soil nourished and regenerated. You don't want to kill earthworms, because earthworms, they burrow down and they create little holes and pathways and caverns so that when it rains, the rain goes right in there. And they pull leaves and different things down with them. And all those things go down to the root and they break down and provide nourishment, like soil generation type stuff. So we don't want to kill those. We just want to get rid of the aphids and the little things that eat the leaves. And that's when those natural things come into play. So you want to make sure your venue has a caterer that orders from local farmers, and then these local farmers have natural ways to take care of pests. So that's number 4. Number 5, waste management and recycling practices. That is a big one. So let's tackle waste management. Waste can be, of course, what happens in the bathroom. There's a way to compost that, and very few venues have systems in place in that do that. You'll more find that in places that have retreats. They will do that and then use the poop and stuff to take care of the plants. And yes, it's totally safe because it goes through a whole process and curing and breaking down and the whole thing. Not very sexy, but very useful. At events, what I do to manage waste, I have 3 types of waste bins. One for things that go in the landfill. That's all the food scraps that are not plants. Then one that's compostable, like the leftover salad, leftover beans, and veggie, broccoli, all the things that people didn't eat on their plate go in a composting bin. And then the third is the recycle container that has all the plastic and the cans if the client must have canned sodas and water bottles and all the things. So we separate those into three. Now you can even break down what goes into landfill into something further. All the meats and things, you can keep those aside and you can donate them to a kennel or a local farmer that has like pigs or animals that eat meat, and you can give them the meat and scraps from your events. Totally normal, and yes, it does take some finessing. Finding the local farmer, talking with them about the leftover food from the event, and asking them if it's okay to, to deliver it so they can feed their animals and it's not wasted. But for the most part, here in South Florida, I don't know any pig farmers, so all that would just go in the landfill. But the vegetables and things will go in like your community garden compost, or if you have a compost at your house, or if the venue has composting situations, then it would go there. And then the recycle bin would have the cans and the bottles. So that's number 5. Now, it's doable if you're like steeped in it. You get your 3 cans, you're good to go. If you don't want to be bothered with that, there are companies that you can hire. They're composting companies that they will set up a little station maybe in the back of the venue or in a corner of the kitchen, and they will manage that for you. You don't have to manage any of that for your event at all. Your event planner will make sure that the event kitchen staff will manage the scraping off of the stuff from the plates, or they'll put the stuff in a corner, and then the composting company will manage all of that. And they have privacy curtains and things so that your guests will never ever see what's happening with, separating the foods and all that, because it's not attractive, it's messy, and nobody wants to see that when they're dressed in a ball gown or something. So there's companies. In fact, I met one. I went to a venue in Miami, in Little Haiti, and it's a sustainable venue, and it's almost like a mixed use space. It's an event space, but they also do pop-up shops. So there was like a clothing designer that had the space for a little corner of the space for a while to showcase their new designs to possible customers. You have co-working space, and in the back is like a big outdoor venue. You can have concerts, but they also have a little garden, and they have their composting situation there. Unique venue, super great. If you want to see what that venue looks like, I have it in my feed in Instagram. I think what I'm going to do after this is put the link to that in the description of this live. Same thing for YouTube, same thing for Instagram. I'll do that. So you can check out the venue and see how cool it is. It looks like an art gallery, but also a pop-up shop space. They use local caterers that are within like a 5-mile radius of the venue. That's being eco-focused. They get wines from a local winery in Miami. They use plates that are made from banana tree, the banana trunk. I'm not sure what it's called, but the trunk of the banana tree. And they process it, and they make these little appetizer plates and forks and cups and things like that. And it's all compostable. And they have a caterer that, yes, they did have some meat at the event, but they also had lots of veggies. So if you have a whole veggie plate, you can dump the whole thing in the compost bin, and it will break down and take care of the plants and the planet all at once. Loved it. All right, number 6. And this is the 6th thing to look out for when choosing an eco-focused venue. Number 6 is access to and from the venue. Now that may seem, how does that have to do with sustainability, right? Well, it has everything, because they want to make sure that the access to the venue is close to public transportation and maybe EV shuttles. Maybe they'll have EV charging stations. Those are so on trend right now. If you have a venue that's not close to public transportation, then it's going to be difficult for your guests to get there if they don't all have cars. So when I'm looking for a venue, I make sure it's accessible, like close to I-95, not too far from the turnpike, close to major roads, so people don't have to wander and drive too far and waste their time getting lost, wasting their time, wasting their gas, getting lost, and then they arrive at the event frustrated. So you want to make sure that the venue is accessible to everyone, whether they're driving. Good morning, Dahlia, beautiful. We're talking about how to plan an eco-focused event. We're continuing from yesterday. So we are on number 6, and that is access to and from the venue. It has to be accessible and have access to public transportation, maybe EV shuttles and charging stations. That's such a great way to make sure people find the venue easily. They're not wasting gas driving around in a circle. And if they're taking the bus, there's a bus stop or bus route somewhere close by. They can come to your venue on time, feeling relaxed instead of being frazzled because they got lost somehow. So accessibility is very important for your venue. So those are the 3 that I'm tackling today. We tackled catering, making sure that you use a local caterer that gets their produce from a local farmer. Then we talked about making sure there's a waste management process in place at the venue, and they have recycling practices. And we talked about landfill bin, composting bin, and recycling bin. And then the number 6 was the venues. Now, not the venues, the accessibility of the venue. All this can be a lot to manage, trying to figure out how many bins did Melody say I need again? Is there a 4th? Are there pig farmers in South Florida? You don't have to worry about any of that. That is where I come in. I will find the right venue for you, ask the right questions. And the questions can be, are you energy efficient? What is your water supply and management like? The vendors that you use for the venue that are on your venue list, do they have some kind of eco-focused certification or practices that I get to be aware of so I can decide to use them or not? The caterer, is it a caterer that uses food from local farmers? Is there waste management? All the things. I ask all of that for you so that you don't have to. Now, to support you in that, I have created my pro event package. This is my hashtag hire it done for you. You tell me about your event. You want to have a fashion show. You want to have a brand launch or a grand opening or a wedding or a baby shower, whatever it is. You want to focus on all the fun parts of that. Or if you're the speaker of your event, you don't want to be bothered with all the logistics of AV and sustainability and all the things. Tell me about your event. I'll elevate that and marry that with your budget and make it happen for you. That frees you up to enjoy your baby shower and all that goes along with it. Enjoy your wedding. Be the bride, be the groom. Don't worry about all the details of the behind the scenes. I'll take care of that for you. Now, if you want to learn more about our pro event package, for Instagram, the link is in the bio. For YouTube, the link is in the description of this live. And if you have any questions on what we talked about today, things to look out for when you're trying to choose an eco-focused venue, let's connect. My name is Melody Dixon, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pro Event Planners, curators of eco-focused events. My email address is info@myproeventplanners. Thank you so much for joining me today, Crystal, Lady of Harp, Star Michael 7791 and beautiful Dahlia, thank you for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow with some more tips on what to look for in choosing the venue. All right, take care, guys, and have a fantastic day.